door won't budge. Why keep a 40-year-old newspaper article? Door won't budge. What's that? Looks like they're short a full set. One of the mirrors was taken. Eyes still wide open. Guess he didn't see the killing blow coming.
I'll find out why the old ape wants you so bad.
Only slight scratches around the keyhole. Whoever broke in knew how to pick a lock. Huh. That's a lot of warning shots. Yeah, you like what you see, buddy?
Squint, easiest gig in this district. You grab the mirror. I'm gonna go see what other loot we can take from Mr. Moneybags here. Easiest gig in this
Who are you? What in K's name are you doing in my house?
Squint, run! Oh, Kay! I've killed him!
Two men broke in to steal a mirror. One of them, Squint, cracked the safe. But Glover discovered him and shot him. Second one killed Glover. I've got some good news, and I've got some bad news. The good news is I've found Glover.
And the bad?
The bad news is he's dead. Murdered.
Indeed. Did you discover who killed him?
Not yet.
Then why are you wasting my time? Find me Glover's killer. I need the name of the man who crossed me, Mr. Reed, if I'm to make an example.
Don't waste my time.
I'm happy to say I've never been hungry enough to consider eating whatever this is. Rest in peace. Looks like Squint was having a bad day. Survived getting shot just to be stabbed to death. But who did it?
At long last, I'll fix what that old ape lover Francis did to you.
Fuck! Get away from the... Oh, thank the gods. I thought you were another monster.
Sidney Stokes, I presume.
Aye, that's right. Do I know you?
Don't think so. I'm here about Herbert Glover. I believe you know him. Or should I say, knew him.
Okay.
Nice trick with the wall. How'd you manage it?
It wasn't me. She put the wall there with some kind of hocus pocus.
You said she put the wall here. Who is she?
She's our employer. I don't know her name or anything. She promised us a good payout for a simple job. And I fell for it like a chump.
What did she hire you to do?
The job seemed simple enough. Go to the collector's house, grab some fancy mirror, and then hoof it out of there.
So where's this fancy mirror now?
She took it. When me and Phil met her with the goods, they got into a big blowout and she shivved him. Okay, what am I to do now? Phil was the idea guy, I'm just a sap.
Come on, paint me a picture. What did this woman look like?
She was tall and thin, very thin, just skin and bones. Mean like a rattlesnake. That's all I can remember. I didn't look too close at her.
Were you hired to kill the collector, too? Or was that just for laughs?
I swear to Kay, it wasn't part of the plan. It was an accident. The guy started shooting at us, and I panicked.
You panicked? Really? That's your excuse?
Oh, please, as Kay is my witness, I didn't mean to kill anyone. I'll give you everything. I have. Just let me walk.
Well, you've had quite a night. Break-in, theft, and manslaughter. I'm gonna have to report this.
Please, I'll get the char for this.
You should have thought of that before you killed a man.
Oh, Ma, I killed him. What have I done? What in the world have I done?
Fish? Fresh fish? Take as much as you need. It won't cost you a penny. Fish? Fresh fish? Take as much as you need. It won't cost you a penny. Don't be shy. We have enough for everyone.
I've heard that I can find an organization hereabouts that goes by the name of the EOD. Am I in the right place?
You sure are. I happen to be a representative of the EOD. Pleased to meet you. My name's Anna. Can I help you with something?
Charles Reed. Just a few questions, if I may.
Of course. Ask away, Charlie.
This city is short on everything except dirt, rain, and things that want to kill you. Yet, you just give away food for free. What's your angle?
Angle? There's no angle, Charlie. Not everyone can hide in fancy manners like the grand families. And our hearts tell us we must do more. We've decided to seize our own fate and rise above this disaster. I think it's going well. The sea's good to us, and it blesses us with abundance.
What is the EOD? I mean, what do you do as an organization?
Well, we are a non-profit charitable organization. Actually, it's better to say that we're a gathering of volunteers. We're not an official charity yet. As for what we do, we try to help ease the suffering in our city as much as we can.
Huh. And how do you do that?
We provide fish for the hungry and fix the homes of the poor. We also patrol the streets at night to keep the wild beasts and bandits at bay. And many, many more things. Whatever needs doing. Anything to help the people, Charlie.
What does EOD stand for?
Everyone's obvious duty. When we began, it also had, is to help each other. But we dropped that part. It was a little bit wordy.
It's been great chatting with you, but I'm actually here to speak with the EOD leadership. You know where I can find them?
Not so fast, Charlie. Nobody meets the top brass without being a member. You need to earn a rank in the EOD first.
Oh, you're kidding me. What for?
You need to prove yourself. Show us through your actions that you're worth our time. No offense, Charlie.
So, are there any benefits for joining the EOD?
We don't do this for money, Charlie. We do this because it's the right thing to do. Think of it as working towards a higher purpose.
How can I join?
That all depends on what skills you can offer us. What do you do best?
Well, I'm afraid my resume's in my other jacket. Let me see. I was in the Navy during the war, and ever since it ended, I've been a private eye.
The sea provides. Turns out we have a job that's a perfect fit for you.
You need me to sail somewhere? I have a boat.
As much as I'd love to go sailing with you, I actually had something else in mind.
Okay. Tell me more about this job.
Well, last night someone tried to break into our fish storage room. Luckily, the guards scared him off, but I fear they'll be back to finish the job. That's why we've been busy today giving away all the fish to the people. We'd rather it get into the hands of the needy than to some thief.
And you want me to find whoever this thief is, right?
You're smart, Charlie. I like it. Exactly.
Fine. Count me in.
Good. Thank you. Here's the address. Tell the guard the password, I serve the sea, and he'll let you into the storeroom.
fish here.
I serve the sea. Anna sent me here to investigate the recent break-in.
Sea be praised. Finally. I'm Daryl Grimes. How can I help you?
Can you tell me what happened? Don't skimp on the details.
Not much to tell, sadly. It was a man, that much I know. He snuck in while I was upstairs, tried to steal the fishies, but I heard him. Nearly got him with a harpoon by Kay, but I missed in the dark. He got away, that Dane, but I wonder, why steal what you can get for free?
Yeah, that's a bit of a puzzler. What did this burglar look like?
Same height as you. Not too big, not too small. Nothing to write home about. An average Joe. If not for his, bald head. That guy was as bald as an egg. I could see the moonlight reflecting off the top of his head.
And what did he steal?
Nothing. I scared him off before he could.
Where did he go after that?
Don't know, pal. He was way faster than me.
What's the deal with the password and such?
Orders from the higher-ups. I don't get to ask why.
All right. Well, that's enough for now, Mr. Grimes. I've got to go to work.
Here, take the key. May the sea bless you.
The hall's fresh, still smells of the sea. No signs of decomposition at all. That's a fancy-looking bottle. Looks like it was taken from a lab somewhere. There's some kind of powder left on the bottom. I better not touch it. It could be dangerous. Nice work. When I was a kid, I would have gone nuts for this. Well, if it was finished, that is. This guy must really be into his hobby to have such impressive tools. Thing's dead as a doornail, but I don't see any wounds. So first it ate the fish, and now it's dead. That's troubling. I have questions. Wow. It pierced a good inch of solid wood like it was nothing. I found a hidden room full of shackles and chains downstairs. Looks like some kind of torture chamber. Know anything about it?
What? Stop talking, Truck. That can't be true. I know this place top to bottom.
Now, Daryl, you know I'm a detective, and if you're lying, I'm going to find out one way or another.
I've got nothing to do with it, I swear, Mr. Reed. Go ask Anna. She's responsible for renting the place. I know nothing about this.
Okay. I'll talk to Anna. We'll see if your story holds up. See ya.
May the sea protect you.
I hope Professor Westerbrook never learns about this.
Come back, you thief. I'll show you not to mess with us.
Just a little bit more.
Darn pests. May take them.
Okay. Let's see what we have here.
Professor Westerbrook never learns about this. Just a little bit more. Oh no.
Darn pests. May take them. Come back, you thief. I'll show you not to mess with us.
A man broke into the fish storage, poisoned the fish with an unknown substance. That made a noise which alerted the guard, who chased him out.
You dig up anything interesting?
I sure did. Turns out our friend here wasn't here to rob the place. He came to poison the fish.
By the sea. Are you sure?
Well, that's what the evidence suggests, anyway.
Okay, this is horrible. Please don't tell Anna it was my fault, or she'll have me quartered.
Anna will quarter you. You're joking about that, right?
Wish I was. Anna, she's ruthless when it comes to punishing the guilty, EOD member or not.
That's unexpected. Huh. Don't worry, I won't tell her. You seem like a decent sort, Daryl. I'll make something up.
Thanks, Mr. Reed. Here's a little something to express my gratitude. Take care now. Still, I've done wrong and I deserve to be punished. I'll stay on guard duty for the next month without a day off. You have my word.
All right, you go ahead and do what you gotta do, I guess.
Choose wisely.
Take as much as you need. It won't cost...
I've got news about your fish storage problem.
Oh, I'm all ears, Charlie.
It only looked like a robbery. Some guy broke into the storage to poison the fish. Near as I can tell, he succeeded, at least partially. I realize it's a lot to take on faith. Look, I've got a sample of what I think is the poison. Though I can't identify it yet.
See, protect us. That's terrible. What kind of man would do such a thing, and why?
I don't know, but I aim to find out.
We need to stop distributing the fish. We have to let everyone know about this. Kay knows how many people might already be affected.
What do you want me to do with the poisoner once I find him?
I'd bring an end to him right there if I were you. The police and court are useless these days.
That wasn't the deal. I'm a detective, not a hitman.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Report to me when you find him. I'll see that the reward will be more than handsome, if you know what I mean.
I'll, see what I can do.
One thing still bothers me. The guard at the storage, Daryl. What was he doing at the time?
Your guard was vigilant. He fought bravely, but the poisoner knocked him out. You ask me, he deserves a raise.
Good old dependable Daryl. I hope he's okay. I'll see he gets his due. Goodbye, Charlie.
I've found what looks suspiciously like a dungeon in the basement of your fish storage. Care to explain?
Excuse me? You've found what?
A dungeon. Chains, shackles, and blood. Ring any bells?
I've no idea what you're talking about, but it sounds awful. We only started renting the place a few weeks ago. Goodness. I'm going to have to ask our landlord several uncomfortable questions, it seems. Thanks for the heads up, Charlie.
See you later. I've looked into your delicate matter.
Excellent. Don't spare me any details.
Glover's dead. He was killed by a man named Sidney Stokes, who happened to be robbing his place. He wasn't working alone. He had a partner, Phil O'Connell. Didn't end up much better. All over some kind of mirror, apparently.
Truck. Where is the mirror now?
Their employer has it. Some mystery woman. I didn't get her name, but she obviously wasn't fooling around.
I see. So, my enigmatic competitor has finally shown her hand. And the thieves are both dead, you say?
Their employer decided to bump them off. Now, I hope that's not standard business practice in these parts.
You've proven to be far more valuable to me alive than dead, Mr. Reed. You have nothing to worry about in that regard.
All right. I've held up my end of the bargain. Now, it's your turn.
Of course, Mr. Reed. Here's your payment. Now that you know everything, would you accept the second part of the job?
Let me guess. You want me to track down the mirror?
Yes, and the one who so rudely snatched it from my grasp.
I'm on it. Only got one lead, though. Our culprit had a bone to pick with someone named Francis. Mean anything to you?
Ah, yes. That is without doubt my father, Francis Throgmorton. May rest his soul.
What's he got to do with this?
I found mention of the mirror in his records. That's what led me to take interest.
Your father was a prominent man. I'm sure he had enemies. Anyone come to mind?
None who would outlive him.
You mentioned your father left records. Mind if I take a gander at them?
The prospect of you rifling through my father's possessions does not fill me with joy, Mr. Reed. But if that's what you need, so be it. Take this key.
Seems an ambitious expedition. Like father, like son. Curious craftsmanship. These must be worth a fortune. Looking sharp. But I guess that's the point. "1891 must have been a busy year for Francis." Now, that kid looks a little... I had some questions about Bethany.
I beg your pardon. I don't believe I know anyone of that name.
Well, it came up during the investigation. See, your father divorced, and his ex-wife's name was Bethany.
Say no more. It is beyond my earliest memories, but even if it weren't, my father's business is his own. I shall not engage in gossip.
Your father led an expedition back in 1891. Do you know anything about it?
I'm not the best person to ask, I'm afraid. I was a babe in arms back then, and my father... never made his findings public. It is a great shame, of course. His work would have turned the science of evolution on its head.
Yeah, I can see that. Have a good day. I'm looking for Bethany Throgmorton. You got any patients by that name?
We'd know if we had a Throgmorton. Although, we do have a Bethany. Or rather, we did. She's missing, and not on one of her usual walks.
Her usual walks? You let patients leave the building?
Oh, Bethany was harmless, and she always came back. This time, well, I've never known her to be like that.
You mean she broke out?
Yes, knocked an orderly out cold. She was out the door in a moment. It took us all by surprise. She's usually harmless.
Any idea where she went?
No. She had been odd recently, though. Muttering to herself, and she drew this strange picture on her bedroom wall.
That's interesting. Can I take a look at her room?
I suppose it couldn't hurt. She had a separate room downstairs. Here's the key, but do watch out for broken glass.
What can I do for you?
Ed! I still hear those voices.
The end is nigh.
Let's
it
play.
will begin again. What is down comes up. The sea.
Watch your pocket. Some patients here have one.
Do you see it?
Haven't you seen the beast?
There's enough dope left in here to knock out a horse. The blood's almost dry. At 7 years each, that's a lot of bad luck. I'm glad it's not mine. Huh. Was this taken at gunpoint? Someone had a field day defacing these.
I will find it, baby boy. I promise. Just tell me more.
Stop right there.
You no longer have any power over me. I have found my Randall Glassworks in Salvation Harbor. I can't believe it. The answers have been there since last century.
Time to piece this one together.
In Salvation Harbor. I can't believe it. The answers have been there since last century. You no longer have any power.
Stop right there.
Bethany escaped the asylum after getting the mirror from Glover. Next stop looks to be a factory called Randall Glassworks.
Hello, sir. Welcome to Oakmont University Department of Medicine. I'm Samuel.
Charles Reed, private investigator. I have a few questions if you don't mind. You recognize this bottle? Maybe you could tell me what's inside.
That's one of our lab bottles. We have a lot of them. As for what's inside, I'd need to run some tests.
Yeah, could you do that for me?
These tests aren't cheap. And the other day I could get right to it, but we're, somewhat hindered right now.
What's up?
Our lab is crawling with, well, creatures. Professor Westerbrook's research is a little unconventional, and something went wrong. Really wrong.
So, if I do a little pest control for you, you'll run those tests for me. For free?
Our budget is tight. You'd be helping the cause of science, Mr. Reed. Isn't that enough?
Oh, I guess science could help itself.
All right. Yes, you solve our problem, and I'll run the test for you. Off the books. Here's the key for the basement.
The door won't budge. What kind of person would even touch this? Not to mention dissect it. Some serious equipment they've got here. Oakmont University is clearly well funded. I'm glad this thing is dead. Why do they even keep it here? Your lab is certified creature-free.
Excellent, Mr. Reed. You've done us a great favor. Now we can get things up and running again.
Your lab was, interesting. Running experiments on those creatures. What's up with that?
Oh, they're fascinating, aren't they? Convincing evidence of new branches in the evolutionary tree. Can you blame us for taking an interest?
Maybe not. But so much dead flesh down there, that's going to attract scavengers. Didn't you think about that?
Yeah, well, no. We'll be more careful in the future. Your point's taken.
Okay. I've done my part. Here's the bottle. Now you run those tests.
Yes. Wait here. It shouldn't take long. We finished that analysis, sir. It's ricin.
Ricin?
A highly toxic poison extracted from castor beans. It's slow-acting, but absolutely fatal to humans.
So, where do you get ricin? This isn't something you can pick up from a drugstore.
About that. It is rare, but we have a certain amount of it here. For study, in our poison store. Or we did. I'm afraid that must be where it came from. The label had been tampered with, but it certainly looks like ours. Where did you find it?
Crime scene. Someone was trying to poison a bunch of fish with it.
This is horrible. I need to warn everyone in the university about this.
Who's got access to where the poison's stored?
Only Professor Westerbrook has the key. His office is upstairs, right alongside Professor Cavendish's. Professor Westerbrook's not here, though. He's been sick for the last few days. Professor Cavendish is away as well, on vacation.
Where do they live?
I'm not sure, but probably somewhere in Advent. Most of the teaching staff live there. Wait, you don't think it was one of them?
I'm working on that. Can you let me upstairs?
Well... all right. This is serious. I'll help you. Here's the key, but please don't disturb the professor's things.
Can you fill me in on ricin again?
Of course. What do you need to know?
How can you tell if someone's been poisoned with ricin?
The symptoms take several days to develop. At first, it's like a common cold, but over several days, well, it develops into hemorrhage, internal organ failure, and death. It's not a pleasant way to die.
There's some kind of cure for ricin?
I'm afraid not. Once it's in your system, it's a death sentence.
I'll see you later. These bottles look exactly the same as the one with the poison.
To make a decent copy.
I'd like to know a bit more about your professors.
What do you want to know?
I want to know more about Westerbrook.
He's the head of our department. He's been here for, well, at least 30 years. He's one of the longest-serving staff we have. As you've already seen, he's particularly interested in the wild beast that recently appeared in our city.
Yeah, that's quite the unique fauna you have there.
I've no idea how he did it, but Mr. Throgmorton's men brought him live specimens for his research. He thinks he's on the verge of a breakthrough in evolutionary theory. A secret that, once revealed, will benefit all humankind.
Some secret should stay buried, 6 feet under.
You're not a man of science, are you? It's not about why. It's about what if.
What can you tell me about Professor Cavendish?
He's one of the most brilliant teachers we have here. A PhD at only 25. Just imagine. His biochemistry studies are second to none, worthy of a Nobel Prize. If he could complete his work.
What's his problem?
I don't know. There's some kind of family trouble. It's made him standoffish and irritable, and easily distracted. I hope he gets through whatever he's going through. We need his talent, especially in these dark times.
I'll see you later.
Yes, I haven't got all day. What do you want?
Just wanted to say hi. I'm new in town.
Oh, how nice for you. If you need to look anything up in our archives, get in line like everybody else.
Get in line? I'm the only one here. Well, I guess that means I'm first then. So, I can just go look up what I need.
Don't sass me, young man. Next time there could be a line here, and you'll get no special treatment.
Won't budge. Judging by the layer of dust on it, this ring hasn't been worn in a long time. So why keep it around? This Cavendish guy did an impressive investigation, and the EOD's in the center of all of it. A lot of fancy dresses locked away in a dark corner for a long time. I'm starting to smell some deep family trauma here.
I loved you. I always loved you.
You will never understand our cause. My child is blessed by the sea. I'm leaving you, George.
George, I can't live like this anymore. There's something I have to tell you.
I don't care what your damn EOD cult demands, Anna! I thought the child was mine. Mine!
Okay, let's see what we have here.
George, I can't live like this anymore.
I don't care what your damn EOD cult demands!
You will never understand our cause. My child is blessed by the sea. I'm leaving you, George.
George Cavendish. He had a wife named Anna. She had a baby that was not his, but blessed by the sea and claimed by the EOD. This caused their split.
Who are you? What are you doing here?
Calm down. The name's Charles Reed. I'm a private investigator.
Right now, you look like someone who's breaking into my house. A burglar. Explain yourself.
Easy there. Anna from the fish market asked me to find you. You know her, right?
I should have guessed. I know her much better than you think. What does she want from me now? She already took everything I have.
It's not about what she wants. It's about what you did. Poisoning the fish. Sound familiar? Yeah, I can prove you did it.
Hold on. Before you jump to conclusions, I want you to know that I had a good reason to do what I did. It all comes back to Anna.
What's Anna got to do with all this?
As you might have already gleaned, she was my wife.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it all starts to come together now.
The EOD robbed me of her. It all started with the free fish. We were all short on food at the time, and then they hooked her with their nonsense about the benevolent sea and greater good. I looked past it for some time, but then...
She became pregnant.
Yes. At first, I was over the moon. But then one day she came to me, that snake, and told me that the child was not mine. She said it was blessed by the sea, that it was demanded by the EOD. Doom take them! I couldn't stand it. I just couldn't.
Oh, this should be fun. What's your good reason for poisoning innocent people? You know the EOD are feeding the hungry, don't you?
No, that's exactly the problem. They're not doing it out of charity. They do it to spread their influence and recruit new members. Some of those initiates, as they call them, vanish without a trace. And not just them. They kidnap ordinary folks, too.
And poisoning the fish would prevent this. How?
Oh, you see, not everyone in this city believes in the EOD yet. They have opposition among the citizens, both rich and poor. A rumor of the EOD's fish being poisonous and several incidents would be enough to undermine the EOD, sparking fear and mistrust.
There must be another way to deal with the EOD. Like, if their crimes are that obvious, why don't you just go to the police?
They're resourceful, those sons of hagfish. They maintain a squeaky clean image, and they're good at it. I tried going to the police. They were no help at all. And I'm not suicidal enough to make it public and take them to court.
So what's your next move?
I was interrupted and couldn't finish my task. The EOD received a fresh haul of fish, but now they're on alert and raised their guard. I understand I'm in no position to ask. But after reviewing all the facts I've presented to you, Mr. Reed, would you agree to help me?
What did she mean, blessed by the sea?
What do you think is the cause of Innsmouth syndrome in people?
Living in Innsmouth?
That K-forsaken place has nothing to do with it. It comes from breeding with monsters. These sea creatures they call Deep Ones. They take our women and they spoil them with their seed. Then they give birth to degenerate fish-faced offspring.
Where did you learn all of this? This information about the EOD?
After Anna left, I had nothing. But I did have a lot of time to research Innsmouthers, the EOD, and the story behind them. It is an old and powerful organization. They appeared back in the mid-19th century in Innsmouth, and the first people with the Innsmouth syndrome started showing up around that same time.
Ah, perhaps not coincidentally.
Ah, of course not. And the EOD is immensely rich. The sudden rise to power of the Blackwood family happened right after they joined them.
Keep talking. Now, what is it you want from me?
Poison the rest of the fish. It's spreading, but it's not enough. The EOD trusts you enough to deal with me, so it should be simple for you. My agent inside the EOD reports that they've just received a fresh haul. That's your target.
Your agent inside the EOD. Is he fairly high up the ranks?
Ah, I see where this is going. You need something from the EOD too.
Yeah. I'm trying to find a certain person who may be held by them.
My agent can arrange that. If someone is being held by the EOD, he'll know it. It's a win-win situation.
All right. Look, I'm gonna need to think about this.
Of course. But don't be too long. I'm going to need an answer before I let you go. I hope you can understand why. So, have you made up your mind?
Your methods stink, and your plan stinks. Still, the EOD is a threat, and I'm not gonna help them anymore. I'm in.
You're doing a great favor for this city, Mr. Reed. Never doubt that.
Yeah, I'm trying not to. Remind me what it is I have to do.
You need to poison the fresh haul of fish at the EOD storage. It's heavily guarded, but you'll figure out something, I've no doubt. I'll be back later. I need to see my agent. Find me after you're done. Here's the address and some ricin. Be very careful with it.
Yeah, will do. I'm not quite ready to die yet.
Take as much as you need. It won't cost you a penny.
I found your poisoner.
See, bless you, Charlie. Thank goodness. Who is it?
Well, that's the peculiar part. It's your ex-husband, George Cavendish.
Oh. So that son of a rotten shark finally decided to show up. We'll find him.
Then I'll have a word with him in person. Still, it's strange. I never thought he'd have the guts to do something like this. He was always a pushover.
You're taking this remarkably well for a woman who just found out her ex-husband is a poisoner.
He's nobody to me. The EOD is my family now, and we serve a higher purpose than he could ever grasp. My life finally has meaning. And now, we're going to relieve him of the burden of his miserable existence. You've done us all a great service, Charlie.
All right. No more messing around. Get me in touch with your Grand Poobah or whoever's in charge, now.
Easy there, Charlie. I'm a woman of my word. Go to the basement of the fish market. It's nearby. You'll find an inn-smouther there by the name of Maurice. Tell him I've sent you. You'll get your answers.
About time.
There will be loss. And it is only fair to be afraid. Titanic forces are at work. Infinitely greater than ourselves. Unknowable. Incomprehensible. There will be sacrifice. There will be loss. There will be darkness. But these are the hallmarks of a pivotal moment in time. And each of us has a part to play.
Interesting speech. You really think there's an upside to all this?
Absolutely. The darker the day, the brighter we can all shine. And we will all shine again soon. All that's needed is faith. I am called Evernote Blackwood, and this is the place I have chosen to share my message. Please, come to one of my full sermons.
Charles Reed. Good to meet you. Blackwood. You're a member of the Grand family.
I am indeed the last of that line. Inheritor of an empty mansion and a severed history.
Hey, Mr. Reed.
Do I know you, buddy?
Not yet, but I know you. I also know you're looking for a particular lady. My name's Fred. You're looking for Professor Doe, ain't that right? The scientist the Order kidnapped. I think we can help each other.
How do you mean? You know where she is?
Slow down, buddy. Helping each other is not the same as let me just tell you everything.
What is this order you mentioned?
Yeah. You don't know, do you? EOD. It really stands for the Esoteric Order of Dagon.
Dagon?
An old being from the depths of the sea. In books, they show him as a monstrous amphibian. The Innsmouthers worship him as a god. And of course, they make sacrifices to him. In blood.
Nothing's for free in this city, is it? Figures. All right. Shoot.
You won't regret it. You've seen some of this city now, am I right? You've an inkling what's coming? I want out of the Order and the city before it hits. Trouble is, it's much easier to get into the Order than to leave. Give the slightest hint of it, you've signed your death warrant. I need somebody to get me out of the city on the quiet. And that's not an easy thing these days, my friend.
I've no idea how to help you with that.
Ain't you a detective? There are people in the city, smugglers, who know what to do. Find them. That's how you can help. See, I've heard whispers about ads in the newspaper. A new ad every week, talking about Salvation Harbor. Maybe start there.
All right, fine. I'll look into it. But your lead on the professor had better be worth it.
I know where they've got her. I can get you there. You just find me a way out fast, or I might be too dead to be any use to you.
I know who is behind Professor Doe's kidnapping. It's an organization called the Esoteric Order of Dagon. Most of them stick to the fish market, but they seem to have agents everywhere. Even the university.
I knew there was something fishy about the EOD, the den of those filthy Innsmouthers. I'll tear it to the ground.
Actually, most of the EOD members I met were locals. And for what it's worth, the only Innsmouther I spoke to was a nice guy. You ought to examine your prejudices.
Are you calling me a bigot, Reed?
Robert, listen. Something needs to change. You holding a grudge against Innsmouthers ain't making anything better for anyone. Those who fan the flames of hatred always end up burnt in the end.
They killed my son, for Kay's sake!
I know. But what did you do to prevent it? You made yourself their enemy instead of helping them. What did you expect would happen? You chose to brand them newcomers and leave them to suffer just like you did with me. The only difference is that I'm useful to you. No wonder desperate Innsmouthers would seek refuge from a radical organization like the EOD. They had nowhere else to turn.
I shall think about what you've said.
Back to business. I'll continue my search for Professor Doe. I have a promising lead. You have anything else to tell me?
Your task remains the same. Find Harriet and bring her back. You say we are dealing with an entire organization. Well, I have something for you that might help our cause should things take a turn. Now leave. I've heard enough from you.